followed. Get it out, but not here, not this room. His thumbs rubbed circles on the other fingertips, and he closed his eyes, remembering, delighting. Dim bones, dim dry bones. He hunched his shoulders forward and craned his neck, oozing the tension back to its hiding place. The West Texas wind swept under the house and up between the gaps in the floorboards. Dust fanned in every direction and spread the odor of worn-out dirt into the room. Lasers of light beamed through tiny holes in the tinfoil-covered window, scarcely illuminating the area. The bare bulb overhead had long ago given up hope of ever shining again. No matter, he knew his way around his bedroom. The heavy oak dresser scratched the rotting floor as he dragged it away from the wall. He tugged his t-shirt sleeve across his forehead, cleared his throat, and fixated on the floor where the bureau had been. His duffel bag held his necessaries, and he rooted through it, shoving rags and knives and duct tape and other essentials aside before finding the hammer. He wedged the claw between the floorboards and yanked on the handle, splintering the edges of the decaying wood. Years had passed since he had last seen her, and there was no point in hurrying now. Lord knows she wasn't going anywhere. Not this time. The daisy first, then we'll talk. Moments later, the ritual ended. Flower petals died on the floor, insignificant ghosts lost in the next gust of wind. He sat next to her, tilting the skull so he could look her in the eye sockets. They chatted briefly. She, quiet and contrite. He, forgiving but not forgetting. A car horn interrupted his solitude, and his hands morphed into fists, daring her to honk again. Seconds later, she did. He ripped the foil from the window and glared at the vehicle. A woman leaned out the passenger side and squinted, shading her face with her hand. Her shrill screams intensified his anger. "Cody, hurry up! I'm getting hot out here." He exhaled a stream of torrid breath and ran a hand across his face before turning away. Time to go. After exchanging goodbyes and shoving the dresser back into place, he hurried down the narrow hallway, careful to avert his eyes as he passed his mother's bedroom. Things happened in there. More things forgiven, but not forgotten. His arm and shoulder scraped along the wall. Blood from his lip oozed onto his tongue, warm, metallic, comforting. Jesus loves me, this I know. Safely in the living room, he paused to look at the faded yellow sign hanging on the open front door. Condemned by the Sheriff's Office of Pecos County, Texas. The house didn't look much different than it had when they'd left about a year ago, but nobody cared about it back when the property taxes were being paid. Outside, the stifling air blanketed the homestead. February shouldn't be this hot. The place hadn't changed, except for the rusted metal chair that no longer kept guard on the porch. The seat was now wedged against a mesquite tree halfway across the yard, a victim of the wind. A perfect picture, painted for him by the Lord. The tree represented Levi, planted and prospering. The chair signified the wicked and ungodly, spoken of in Psalms. The chaff which the wind driveth away. Chaff. Tossed in the breeze and burned in the fire. Worthless, like America. But God had a plan. It was all right there if people would read and understand. The Lord had done it for Israel, and, with Levi's help, he'd do it for America. The plan had worked once, and, with a few adjustments, it'd work again. Warmth flashed through him, and he flexed his fingers, allowing the tingling sensation to overpower him. He'd wake them up, show them their sins. Just as Israel had repented throughout its history, America would too. Jehovah's plan hinged on Levi's obedience, and he dared not fail him, not again. The horn blasted once more, and he trudged toward the car, his jaw aching as he ground his teeth together. He tossed the duffel in the trunk and slid behind the wheel. "I told you, Mom, my name is Levi now."